जय जय गुरुदेव 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 श्रील गुरुदेव जय
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 जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय शील गुरुदेव
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय
नित्य
गौर
गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौरांग प्रेमानंदे हरि 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 बोल। बोलो जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। निताय गौरांग भगवान जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। Studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we are discussing the transcendental prayers by a great devotee who apparently appeared as a demon. So there's a tremendous paradox. How can a person born is a demon? How can he express the highest devotional sentiment and highest understanding of the position of the Supreme and our relation with him. But as we discussed last time, and understanding that by Mahat Kripa, the Mahat Kripa, the karma, when somebody performs good karma or bad karma, it has effect, correct? And the effect has to be the good effect or the bad effect of any particular karma has to be bhaktavyam. One has to go through and nullify the effect of karma. But when some activity which cannot be categorized as karma, it is called divya karma. So satsang, association of a pure devotee, its effect becomes akshuna. It cannot be nullified. The effect of lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. Sadhu sanga sarva shastra koy. All the scriptures emphasize the glory of satsang. Lava matra, the small fraction of a moment association of a pure devotee, Sarvasiddhi, it causes, it puts one on the path of attaining the perfection of his human potential. That is the effect. That's why when some action on our part, some thought in our mind, some words we speak, if they bring some facility or positive attitude towards a pure devotee, so that satsang, that appreciation of a pure devotee, its effect cannot be nullified. So satsang in the previous time or previous lifetime will cause further satsang in the present life or in the further next coming life. Until in one life or the whichever life we develop absolute attachment to satsang. That would be our last entanglement in this material world. Because as a human being, we are given this opportunity again and again and again. Only because the effect of satsang is inexhaustible. And that's why, as an effect of the whatever little satsang we may have attained, it will further give us the opportunity to have more satsang, more satsang. So, as a human being, we have to perfect the art of satsang. No? Then we will also attain the perfection of our human potential. So we are discussing in the Transcendental prayers by Vṛtrāsura. It demonstrates his consciousness, and the effect is because he has received wonderful association of pure devotees, and he has developed tremendous appreciation for the benefit he derived from their association. He realized that he got pulled out of inexhaustible, apparently inexhaustible material entanglement. Like we described the position of a heavy elephant. The burden of our previous sanskaras of unlimited aspirations, unlimited desires, they keep us stuck here until we find tremendous fascination and tremendous attachment towards the instructions or towards the fortune of the most blessed ones. So when we develop the desire to become fully blessed, then naturally we will follow the path shown by the pure devotees, and this is how we proceed. So last time we discussed the first shloka of the Chatushloki by Vṛtrāsura, correct? And in today's shloka, we will describe the second shloka. So some background, what is this Chatushloki especially? So in Chatushloki, the first shloka, like the process of pure devotional service, it has special 4 features, correct? Anvaya Vyatirekabhyam Yasyat Sarvatra Sarvada. It means to attain the perfection of our human potential, we have to follow a process or path which meets 4 conditions. What are those 4 conditions? Anvaya Vyati Rekha. Anvaya means Vidhi Vakya. Anvaya means if you follow this path, you will definitely attain the perfection of your human potential. That is called Anvaya. So there are certain instructions or injunctions in the scriptures that if you follow the path of pure devotional service, if one follows the path, one will definitely attain the perfection of his human potential. Means eventually he will also become a pure devotee. So within the process of following the path of pure devotional service, the satsang becomes the most critical thing. Actually, satsang itself is bhakti. Satsang, association of pure devotees, developing our affinity, developing tremendous appreciation for their fortune. The fortune of the pure devotees is that they are eternal associates of the Lord. The Lord is so much under their control, rather. They are so instrumental in bringing fulfillment to the mission of the Lord. That's what we discussed. Now, so if one follows the path of pure devotional service, one attains the perfection. So that perfection is symptomized by developing attachment to a pure devotee, because that guarantees our attaining attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because that attachment, transcendental attachment, will free one from all other attachments. Now, Anvay, then Vidhi, Vyatirek. Vyatirek means it's like negation. Anvay Vakya means the positive. Vidhi Vakya. If you follow this process, you will get there. Vyatirek means if you don't follow this path, you will not get the perfection. You may follow many other paths and different, but without following the path of pure devotion service, one cannot attain the perfection of one's human potential. Anvaya Vyatireka Abhyam Yashat Sarvatra Sarvada. Sarvatra, under all circumstances, time and space, correct? Sarvatra means in all space, under all circumstances, all conditions, situations, whether one is in the womb, outside, any planet, anywhere. Sarvatra means in all space. And Sarvada means in all times. So one has to follow the path which meets all these 4 conditions. Because especially in Kali Yuga, the circumstances are very dire, very so much inconvenience, so much disturbance. प्रायेण अल्प आयुष्य सभ्य कलावस्मिन् युगे जनाः मंदाः सुमंद मतयो मंद भाग्याय उपाद्रिता. These are the symptoms which is commonplace in the present time, So how can we attain the perfection of our human potential in the present time? That is the main focus. And so we all need a guaranteed success process, because we need a lot of help. That's why once one acknowledges that I need lot of help, then one should identify what kind of help we need. What help will really make up all the shortcomings, all the drawbacks, all the negativity, all the disturbances, all the blockages. In spite of that, unless we become connected with Purna Mano Yoga, with Purna Mano Yoga means with single-minded intelligence, single-minded intelligence, that's the word. Single-minded focus, sakalam dhiya, yatra yatra manodehi dharayat sakalam dhiya. Somehow, where our intelligence will not waver under any circumstances. So it is described that only at the stage of attaining attachment, developing transcendental attachment towards a transcendental thing or transcendental personality, our intelligence becomes settled. So 4 conditions, that will be the last sloka of Chatushloki, but I'm just preparing for the background. Anvaya vyati rekabhyam yashyat sarvada sarvatra sarvada. So we are Vṛtrāsura in this Chatushloki, he is describing all these wonderful features. So today, let us see, we said that yesterday, last time we discussed that the first sloka describes the Anvaya Vidhi in Chatushloki, means just as Krishna describes the 4 core slokas to Brahmaji. That's why it is called Bhagavati Chatushloki. Bhagavati means by Bhagavan. But what Krishna describes, in Krishna wants Brahma to imbibe is a devotee. Not only imbibing, but practically demonstrating in one's life. That is what Vṛtrāsura has mastered. That's why Vṛtrāsura's this slokas are described as Bhagavati Chatushloki. The 4 slokas which Krishna speaks to Brahmaji in 2nd Canto, 9th chapter, text number 30 to 35, or 30 to 36, depending on which edition one has. Spoken by Bhagavan. And the Chatushloki which we are studying in the present session is by Vṛtrāsura, the great devotee who demonstrated how to apply the Chatushloki message of Krishna in one's personal life. This is very interesting. In first shloka which we discussed last time, Anvay means Vidhi Vakya, in which Vṛtrāsura described Aham Hare Tau Padaika Moolam Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuyah Manasmareta Supatir Gunamste Grinita Vakarma Karotu Kaya. He gave the definition of Samandha Gyan, what I am. Aham Haritau Padaika Moolam. He's giving the true definition of our identity. Only after accepting, honoring, appreciating, imbibing this identity for ourselves, which was discussed in first shloka, O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? So, by appreciating, acknowledging our position as a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we conduct our everything with the use of our mind, with the use of our speech, and with the use of our limbs, senses. So this is what one has to do. In the same way, in the first sloka of when Krishna speaks, he also describes his position. Aham evashyam evagre. That we will discuss some other time. But there's a correlation between these four slokas and this thing. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yad sad asad param pasyadaham yadit tacche sova shishyete soshmyam. Basically, Krishna is describing what he is. Samandagyan. Samandagyan is Krishna. So when Krishna is establishing him as the Samanda, means everything is connected to Krishna. Nothing exists independent of Krishna. And Vṛtrāsura in the first sloka also describing his position is totally dependent, servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wonderful, na? Now in second sloka, Krishna describes to Brahmaji. In the first sloka, describe what he is. Samandha Gyan, it has two aspects. First, you have to establish what you are, what one is. And then second sloka, Krishna describes what he is not. That is Vyatirek. Anvay means vidhi. And Vyatirek means negating that. So in second sloka, Krishna negates what he is not. Now in second sloka today, which we are going to discuss, also that Vyatirek bhava is expressed. Vyatirek means what he does not want. What Vṛtrāsura wants, being the servant of the servant of the servant, he wants shelter at Krishna's lotus feet in the association of his associates. In today's shloka, Krishna will, Vṛtrāsura will describe what he does not want, because it's very interesting because of our conditioned state since eternity. We have so naturally, very conveniently adopted, find tremendous fascination towards lot of identities. So even on transcendental path, we appreciate, yes, no, I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We idealize this notion. But when temptations come across us, what happens? Temptations, we find them very familiar. So there is a tremendous possibility. Always there is a possibility to become trapped by them because of the familiarity, because of the, we are so used to so many material identifications. So this will be very important. Not only it is essential to establish and appreciate what I am or what I want. At the same time, also we have to sort out what we should not want. So Vṛtrāsura in today's shloka will establish. The shloka is very, very wonderful. Nanaka prishtham na cha parameshtham na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhira punarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. Oh my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nakaprishtham. Nakaprishtham means Dhruvaloka. Parameshta means planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. Prasadhipatyam. Sarvabhauma means the rule over all the earth planet. Prasadhipatyam means the lower planetary systems. Na yoga siddhir, I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga. All these 8 kind of, different powers, becoming lighter than the lightest, becoming heavier than the heaviest, disappear and appear, different things to attain anything at will. Nor do I want liberation if I have to give up pure lotus feet. Wow. Wonderful, huh? So in order to remain established eternally into our eternal transcendental identity as the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, one has to let go, just as Vṛtrāsura is letting go all these temptations as if offered by the Lord. Srila Prabhupada writes, a pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. A pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. These purports, these instructions are so powerful. We have to watch our conditioning, our present status, and the influence of our previous impressions of our previous sanskaras. These 6 prayers of Vṛtrāsura, if one memorizes and contemplates the purport again and again and again, one will become a pure devotee. Guaranteed. A pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. But as we perform transcendental loving service, we get a lot of positive results, correct? Kleshagni Shubhada. And naturally, a sadhaka wants to credit because I am doing sadhana, I have become a devotee. That's why wonderful things happening to us. Wonderful things will happen. But later stage, what if they don't happen? We should not become conditioned by them. That's why pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. Because we cannot afford to remain on the first level only, ground level. We have to grow. Krishna tests us. Krishna puts us through tests where if we become conditioned to receive only positive news, apparently, then what will happen? Oh, in the beginning, everything was going well. Now, whether this is true or not, self-doubt may creep in the very neophyte, sub-neophyte stage rather. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the word neophyte is also means he has some glorification. A neophyte is also very attached to Krishna. So neophyte means the minimum that he will not bloop. He will not leave the path of your devotional service. That's why most sadhakas, they can be described as sub-neophyte stage. But we want to become the pure devotees. Our target should be always in front of our eyes, thought. That's why the purports and the explanation of these slokas, they set the standard for a pure devotee. Correct? That's why these 4 slokas are so amazingly wonderful. See, third time I'm going to read the same line. A pure devotee never desires to get material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. He doesn't, in exchange, okay, I'm performing pure devotional service, let me have exchange of some material facilities, opportunities. No. That will not be called a pure devotee's attitude. A pure devotee desires only to engage in loving service to the Lord, in the constant association of the Lord and his eternal associates. Wow. As stated in the previous verse, Dasanu Daso Bhavitasmi Bhuya, is confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur in Prem Bhakti Chandrika or Pratna. Tandera Charan Sevi Bhakta Sanebas Janame Janame Hoy Ei Abhilash. To serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. Can you? How striking this statement. The whole purport is very striking. How fascinated, how much fascination we feel in the conclusion. To serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. Now think of why in the association of devotees. Or we can say we are all sadhakas, correct? Let us be more like a practical, feasible, because sometimes devotee, of course, means pure devotee, and every sadhaka on the path of this pure devotional service is also a pure devotee. Pure devotee in the making. Should we not honor the pure devotee into making also as a pure devotee? Should we think of him as any less? Thinking of a person following or on the path of pure devotional service, thinking of him as anything other than a pure devotee is offensive. At the same time, when we observe our own situations, we just we can think of ourselves, we can anything but a pure devotee, isn't it? The moment a person thinks, a sadhaka thinks that everybody is calling me a devotee, and devotee means a pure devotee. So I'm a pure devotee. The moment he claims that, he's no more a pure devotee. It is the what a tremendous paradox. I have used this analogy by asking a question. Some of you may have heard that in this class I may not have used, like pure a pure devotee just cannot, even in his imagination, even in a dream, to think of him as a pure devotee. You know, it is the prerogative of others to think of someone as a pure devotee. The example which I use about the duplicity, what keeps us from becoming a pure devotee? It's a duplicity. And duplicity is compared to the stool in our body. Have I used in this session, in 2-3 sessions? No, no. Oh, it's very interesting. How we become, our purpose, we should become so awakened in this transcendence that nothing will cause our sleeping back or sleeping back. We should become so immune to transcendence, or immune to the influence of this material atmosphere. We should become so transcendently become situated that we become immune to the 3 modes of material nature. This is possible even in this realm of 3 modes of material nature. So this question is, we are in Vedic tradition, and the question is the duplicities compared to the stool in one's body. As long as we carry the stool in our body, does it bother us? We do a lot of things. We go into the kitchen, we go to temple, we go to puja room, do worship, prepare bhoga for the Lord, and all these wonderful sevas we do, thinking that we are pure, correct? But we have stool in our body. How can we? But we do think we are pure. Otherwise, one would not go to the temple, wouldn't go to kitchen, all these things, correct? Now, in due course of time, when one really passes the stool, he has really become pure, correct? So after passing the stool and becoming really pure, why one needs to take bath? Has everybody heard this question before? Some of them. Are there some who has not heard this question? How many who never heard this question before? Okay. You haven't heard this question before? First time?
No. Yes,
How is it
Maharaji.
possible? Even you did not hear this question before. Anyway, you won't be deprived. Okay. So this is the question. After passing the stool, becoming clean, why one needs to take bath? Anybody would like to answer the question? Again, the hint is connect this duplicity. Here, duplicity is compared to the stool in one's body. So as long as stool-like duplicity remains in our system, one thinks that one is pure. No? One is perfect, one is everything. But when one passes the stool, he has become pure. No? So the question is, why one needs to take bath? Before passing the stool, he's doing all the good stuff and pure things. But after passing the stool, actually becoming pure, why one needs to take bath? Is the question clear? Anybody would like to venture the answer?
It's only after passing the stool, we realize how impure we have previously been. So we want to purify ourselves, knowing
Who is speaking?
it's me, Sri Guru Jacob. Hi, Hare
Huh?
Krishna. Jacob.
Jacob, we discussed that. Huh? So I'm
No,
asking, I'm asking those who did not hear this before.
I don't recall us discussing.
You don't recall in Mayapur?
Oh, maybe we did. Sorry, my apologies, Shri Guru.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Uh, Clearly explain now for everybody's benefit. Okay, explain. Everybody has to understand this answer very well. Repeat.
So it's only once we've passed the stool, our duplicity, that we realize how impure we have previously been. So we want to cleanse ourselves even more
Only previously been or in the present time?
in the present time.
When so much dirt, stool, we have released, oh, how dirty I am. So this is the paradox. A pure devotee, because he has passed through, he has gone through the conditioned state and he has experienced a lot. And perceiving the pure mercy of the pure devotee, perceiving the mercy through the mercy of a pure devotee, he only experiences, he only acknowledges the kripa, the mercy, and he claims nothing. So conditioned life and liberated life, they're defined by how much percentage we have claiming and how much percentage we have acknowledgement. In the conditioned state, a person only wants to claim everything. In a liberated state, he only acknowledges the mercy. He claims nothing actually. He does not claim to deserve to be able to even breathe one more time. Everything is given. So, Vṛtrāsura, in this shloka, he's able to let go so much temptations. Now, the main critical aspect of this shloka comes that as sadhakas, as we perform the process of pure devotional service, we all need an ideal, correct? Our determination to remain pure, our determination not to fall back to the temptations. Sometimes considering our present conditioned state, when we hear such lofty ideas, correct? Vṛtrāsura was saying, "Oh my Lord, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruva Loka." The connection is hardly established, correct? It's just information. Oh, Vṛtrāsura was saying, I'm not interested even in Dhruva Loka. The status which Dhruva Maharaj achieved is tremendous. We could be tempted by very small thing. What to speak about Dhruva Loka? My purpose of discussing, we are trying to appreciate the praise of Vṛtrāsura. I'm trying to explain to myself only. I don't have to go as far as Dhruva Loka. The temptation of attaining the power and the rule of the whole earth. Can you believe this? In our circumstances, a little temptation, little offering of a position or superiority or seniority, we could create a lot of situations, correct? What to speak about in politics and all these things. Our purpose is how we connect the expression of Vṛtrāsura at our level. They will merely become just information. Oh, Vṛtrāsura, very nice prayers, very enlightening, very enlightening. And then again, we are stuck at our own level. And that's why the association of such devotees whom we idealize. So what is the definition of ideal devotee? Who will not fall prey to these material temptations, correct? And mutually also it helps. We are all fallible. One must acknowledge this. If every one of us is fallible, how to remain infallible? By acknowledging that I'm fallible. So, in the association of devotees, oh, that devotee who is also like me, he's of the same age, he's not falling. Why should I? So mutually, we are able to encourage one another. We cannot afford to remain isolated or become isolated, because our crooked mind, will baffle us. So this is how the association of like-minded, progressive-minded, and devotees, sadhakas, becomes most critical. They encourage one another. Bodhayantam parasparam kathayantascha mam nitya tushyanti che ramanti che. Individually, we are all, one is fallible, but collectively, we stand very strong together. It's just a matter of time when one is, the influence of sanskaras, the temptations, when become strong, then who will provide us the strength? On our own, we are very weak. Our determination power, our keeping the vow, and all these things, we become very weak. But in association, together, we push and pull one another to stay infallible or become infallible. So in this one lifetime, if we just sustain this focus, and then when we idealize someone, then the person we idealize, what is our perception about him? If our perception about him is of a purest devotee who came in our life, then that perception will give us tremendous strength. The Mahapurush also looks like a human being like us, He's also a human being, but he has become divine. No? This should be our perception. Even after seeing the human traits, but what makes a human being, apparently human being, perceived as divine? We value his consciousness. At what level he's situated in his consciousness, in Krishna consciousness, that's what we value. Other things become secondary. If we cannot value him as the person situated in the highest consciousness, the other observation, other things will create that familiarity. Familiarity builds contempt. Lack of disrespect, lack of respect may creep in. Because what is so special about anybody? Everybody in a conditioned state thinks one is very special. Okay, someone is a little more special, but I'm also coming up to that. Everybody is trying to catch up to one another on the material platform. But if we in idealizing somebody, what we are up to? We are up to a pure devotee, correct? Then we will free ourselves from getting tempted to any other position or any other situations. A person who only aspires to become a pure devotee, he will naturally become free from envying anyone. Because envying anyone would create an impasse to become a pure devotee, correct? But the problem most of the time the sadhakas have, that yes, we want to become pure devotee, and one has to begin with the acknowledgement that he is not a pure devotee at this moment. The problem comes when one thinks, oh, well, I am a pure devotee. Aspiration has to be realized, fulfilled. So how one realizes, or how to figure out whether one has become a pure devotee? Yeah. Same paradox applies. A pure devotee never ever claims, even in the dream, that he is a pure devotee. And one who has not become a pure devotee, is very tempted to be recognized as a pure devotee. You know. So what we are up to? We must be up to a pure devotee. If we are not up to a pure devotee, we will not be able to think the way a pure devotee thinks, the way a pure devotee speaks, the way a pure devotee walks and talks or behaves, attitude, the way he reacts and everything. There is no material aspiration of any sort in his consciousness. And that's why when Vṛtrāsura says, oh my Lord, if I have to give up your lotus feet, a pure devotee only aspires to attain the shelter and the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. But you cannot have things of opposite nature together, correct? So if one tempted to attain the status of Swarga Loka, Indra Loka, or Brahma Loka, or the power of the whole earth, and even liberation, then one will be deprived of attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. What a tremendous expression of highest notion. So, Krishna's sweetness, there's one, so many thoughts coming, these shlokas as you will contemplate. I'm only speaking spontaneously, whatever thoughts coming in my mind over the 25 years. I only want to just recall to myself how much appreciation I gain towards these shlokas over the years. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami describes the different levels of Krishna's Bhagavata. Hari Purna Tamah Purna Tarah Purna Iti Tridha. Shloka. Hari means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but even Supreme Personality of Godhead has different, different moods, different rasa in his different manifestations. Harihi Purna Tamah. Hari means Krishna. Purna Tamah means most perfect. Purna means perfect. So Krishna is described as most perfect, more perfect, and perfect. Harihi Purna Tamah Purna Tarah Purna Iti Tridha. Krishnasya Purnatamta Vyaktabhut Gokulantare. And Krishna's most perfectness was manifest in Gokula, Gokulantare. Purna Tarita Dwaraka Mathuradeshu. Krishna is perfect in Dwaraka, Krishna is more perfect in Mathura. He is most perfect in Brajamandal. Now is Vṛtrāsura is able to let go of these temptations of different, correct, statuses. We cannot afford to put ourselves in such a, or claim it such a status that, oh yes, I can let go of this, all these temptations. We are very fragile. We will be tempted by very little thing, little loss here and there, little deprivation will cause us, become so morose and depressed. What Vṛtrāsura is perceiving, the status of attaining the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is he's so vibrantly feeling it. So he's letting go of all these statuses of different kinds. Let me receive this phone. 1 second. Yes. So Krishna's manifestation in Braja, in Gokula, makes him most perfect. So what is the, what way we understand something most perfect or more perfect and perfect? Because just as Vṛtrāsura is letting go of all the temptations of different level, correct? Because we, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should be also able to let go our temptation to settle with Krishna is perfect and more perfect when the opportunity is to attain the association of Krishna is most perfect manifestation in Gokul, in Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan also, ultimate realm. We should also prepare for the best. So how, in 3 aspects, 3 ways Krishna's most perfectness is described. One aspect is his opulence, correct? Second aspect is his sweetness, madhurya. And third aspect, what is the third thing which when we think of Krishna? I need little interaction. This would be interesting. Krishna's opulences in different Vaikuntha planets, in different places, and then Krishna's sweetness. Krishna is sweet. Madhurya, Bhagavata Sa, the essence of Krishna's godhood is his sweetness. But one aspect which connects Krishna or God to all the living entities, what is that? What is our connection to Krishna? What if that was not If that was not in Krishna, we would be lost. We would remain lost. What causes our connecting to Krishna?
Karuna.
Very good. Very nice. It is the Kripa of Krishna, which is his all the wonderful qualities of Krishna. His highest, the supreme quality is Karuna. Because without Karuna, all the sweetnesses of Krishna, like Krishna's Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Prema Madhuri. If Krishna doesn't allow, or Krishna doesn't wish that anybody knows about it, would it be possible for us to connect to Krishna's sweet realm? Nothing. So it is the mercy of Krishna. What Vṛtrāsura, he really wants real mercy of Krishna. Others maybe like Indra is very much yes, I'm receiving mercy of Krishna, getting my heavenly planet back. No? So Vṛtrāsura is saying, no, let go, let go, let go, let go. We will be tempted in this journey of pure devotional service. We will be tempted when Krishna will say, or situation will be created, and we will say, okay, yes, this is what I wanted. And Krishna says, okay, let it be. And one will feel, yes, Krishna has been very merciful. I have attained the perfection of my pure devotional service. Whatever I aspired, I achieved. Does it make a difference to Krishna? Does he diminish in his glory or in his joy or anything? No. Krishna is Atmaram. But it would make a tremendous difference for us, So Vṛtrāsura, through his prayers, he's educating us what we are not. We should not find our attraction to such identities as the Lord of the whole earth, or the King of the heavens, King of the lower planets, or that I'm liberated, giving up the association of. So these things will cause us to give up the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Attaining the Supreme means letting go of all these wonderful offerings. So is attaining the Supreme so easy? It's very, very difficult. Why it is so difficult? Because nobody wants to attain the Supreme. In the conditioned state, we have only aspired to become the Supreme. Every household thinks I'm the king of my house, and this is my queen. This is my, me and mine. So this identity crisis is so deep-rooted, we have no idea. We cannot fathom its depth. That's why somebody has to just cut it abruptly. Like a surgeon, when a person goes to surgeon and some part of his body has to be cut, and cutting some part of the body which we have been carrying and favoring it so much. Now somebody is going to cut it abruptly, correct? So how the surgeon cuts it? He procrastinates. Okay, it will be very painful. So let us procrastinate for 5 years, 5 lifetimes, and this and that. A true surgeon will do the ultimate good to the person. Only does the surgery, however painful for the time being, but it will cause the greatest relief to the patient. So even when patient resists, he cries and rebukes and shouts. He doesn't succumb to the crying or opposition of the patient. So same thing, Vṛtrāsura has understood because he received the ultimate grace of the pure devotees who trained him in the subject matter, what he should aspire and what he should let go. So when Krishna is manifest in his most perfect fashion, in his sweetness in Vrindavan, from opulent point of view. So what was the opulence which was manifest in Gokul? You know, when we think of opulence, we think of the Vaikuntha planets, correct? But Rupa Goswami said the highest opulence was manifest in Gokul. In 10th canto, 13th chapter, Brahma Vimohan Leela, in that what Lord Brahma sees, Lord Brahma knows that he came out of the novel of Vishnu, and the whole planet, universe. But when he stole the calves and the cowherd boys, you know, actually Brahma doesn't have the capacity to steal the calves and the cowherd boys of Krishna. They are Krishna's eternal associates. But in Leela, it is to dramatize something wonderful. He thinks that he stole those. So when Lord Brahma, when he, after momentary, when he looks back and he says, oh, Krishna is still playing with the same calves and the cowherd boys. Actually, Krishna himself manifested in every aspect. Krishna himself became his every cowherd. The way he speaks, the way he walks and talks, and everything just as if nothing has happened, nothing was lost. So when Lord Brahma became totally baffled, oh, I stole them, but they are still there. And who are these? Who are these cowherd boys? And he sees that all of them are Vishnu Murtis. All the calves and the cowherd boys. So in one universe, one Mahavishnu or one Vishnu manifests such opulences. All the animals, that all the associates and everything. Lord Brahma is seeing all the Vishnu Murtis individually worshipped by their associates and all these the siddhis or perfections, personified perfections, all the directions and everything. So opulence wise, the highest opulence of Krishna was demonstrated in Vrindavan. Now, as far as sweetness is concerned, can you imagine God who is described as Sarva Karana Karanam, who is the cause of everything, who is the source of everything? He's the origin. He's the origin of all. He's the bestower of mercy. He's the bestower of benedictions. Everybody looks up to him. Such person is hankering and very hankeringly drinking the milk from Mother Yashoda's breast. Aho bhagyam Nanda Gopa Brajokasam Yan mitram paramanandam purna brahma sanatnam. That purna brahma, first is Sukadeva Goswami establishing what is the position of Krishna. The associates of Krishna, Brajavasis, Aho Bhagyam, great fortune that they are associating with the absolute truth. Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Brajaukasam. Nanda Gop and all the Brajavasis, residents of Braja. Yan mitram paramanandam, Purna Brahman Sanatanam. That Krishna, the supreme absolute truth, has become their friend. So among the Brajavasis, then, this is how, what could be more sweet than this? Nanda kim akarod Brahman, Nanda kim akarod Brahman, Shreya eva mohodaye, Yashoda kim mahabhaga, papau yashyastanam hari. Shreya eva mohodaya. What a great fortune, Nanda Baba, to receive, have the son, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But think of Yashoda Maya. Yashoda kim mahabhaga. Nanda kim akarod Brahman, Shreya eva mohodaya. But Yashoda's fortune is the limit of that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. इतना मचल मचल कर, तड़प तड़प के, है ना, आतुर होकर, so eagerly, so hungrily, so thirstily he drinks the milk from the Mother Yashoda's breast. Can you imagine? Can you think of anything more sweet than this? So those of us who hear Krishna's position, his tattva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Krishna, just like an ordinary child, acts like this. But for us, is Krishna anything? Krishna is anything but ordinary. Na? Although Krishna can act as most ordinary, still for the devotees, Krishna, to Rupa Goswami, he thinks this is the sweetest aspect of Krishna. Krishna is acting so ordinarily, although he is God. Then as far as mercy is concerned, what is the mercy pastime? The best pastime which was demonstrated in Brajam. Can you think of anyone more merciful than Krishna? Shukadeva Goswami describes, Uddhavji describes Krishna's glories, the mercy demonstrated in Brajamandal. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigham shayapa yayadapya sadvi lebhe gatim dhati muchitam tatonyam kamba dayalu sharanam brajeme. The person who came to feed Krishna, apparently milk, but came to poison him, even to such a crooked person. Krishna accepted the motion of like a mother trying to feed the baby. So Krishna did not consider anything else. So Krishna, along with the milk, he also sucked the life air from Putana because she is entangled in the material world. To live in the material world and aspiring to kill God by poisoning him, that's not a good position, correct? So Krishna pulled her out of there, situated her in Gokula, is the, what you call, the foster mother, something like that, the nurse of Krishna. So that's why we are saying that this Vṛtrāsura prayers, Vyatirek means we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want this. If one recites this sloka, then our present positions, hankering for present positions or promotions or status, or, they will not bother us. We must bring to our practical application the import of these prayers. Anything which will deprive us from attaining the association of Krishna, anything that will block or postpone our attaining transcendence, we must be able to let go those situations. Then and then alone, we will be able to appreciate the mutual association of devotees, God brothers, God sisters. And finally, the temptation aspect is, as much as we try to protect ourselves from the tempting influence of material energy, we have to establish, we have to, because who becomes tempted? This is the final question, then we will have some discussion. Who is tempted? A person in identity crisis, correct? Once one is freed from identity crisis, how one will be freed from identity crisis? Only by appreciating tremendously. It's a magical effect. It's a fascination about one's own identity. So in satsang and through Bhagavad culture, our journey is very specific. No more general. Jivere Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. We have been hearing this in general principle. How much impact this has on our consciousness? Oh, everybody is Krishna's eternal servant, correct? It may lose that influence on us, correct? Jivere Swarup hoy Krishna. Oh, everybody is Krishna's eternal servant. What a big deal. Correct? What really matters is what we identify as. General understanding will not help us much. We have to, just as in a material world, whatever wealth you have, whatever beauty you have, whatever credits you have, whatever fortune you have of different sorts, one is very much, that identification is very, very prominent, isn't it? Whatever we think we are, isn't it? Because that is very specific. There could be general saying that everybody is citizen of Great Britain, or everybody is citizen of Germany or America. But every citizen is very unique, individual person. So individual identification must be very much established if you want to remain. And the fascination towards it. In identity crisis, what happens? We settle for anything less than the best. We remain underachiever only in identity crisis. We remain underperformer. We procrastinate. We say, okay, this path is like too pure. I'm too fallen, so I will just take the slow process. Why one would take a slow process deliberately? because he has not found a sufficient fascination about his specific identity. General identity would not suffice. One has to feel as to what one really is. In the middle of the night, I will conclude with this. In the middle of the night, or even before going to sleep, one should think of oneself in what way. Samandha Gyan, the first shloka was Samandha Gyan, the second shloka was what you are not or what you should not aspire. The first shloka was Anvay, second shloka is Nisheth, Vyatirek, negation. So not only we establish ourselves as to what we are, also understanding what we are not. So then two together, we will become immune to the bad influence of material energy. So these temptations, so first we have to very specifically appreciate as to who am I, and that I am what I aspire for. You become what you become conscious as. You become what you are conscious as. So when we think of ourselves, what one thinks about, that fascination will take us all the way. We have to be very specific as to what I am. Just as when we look into the mirror, everybody thinks about oneself. Isn't so? Similarly, in our spiritual eternal identity, we have to find our fascination as to what I am. So one becomes what one is conscious is. One is what one is conscious of, correct? If we are conscious of Krishna, if one is conscious of Krishna, one is Krishna conscious, correct? So one is, what is he? One is what he is conscious of. But to be conscious is what you are conscious is. Kartike, this is a question to every participant. You can write down answer to this question. I would hear from every participant here. I am yes. Are you hesitating? Are you
most beautiful.
Are you not proud enough? Are you not fascinated enough to share proudly what you think you are?
The most beautiful, choicest kinkari of Srimati Radharani.
Really? Now who can tempt you now? Who can baffle you? Correct? So let us hear from the lotus mouth of every participant. And then we can have some time for questions. But this is serious subject matter, na? In order to safeguard ourselves from the onslaught temptations of the material nature, it's quite possible that one may forget oneself, you know. So we cannot afford to forget ourselves. Then we will also forget who we are trying to protect. You know. So what we are, if we are very much clear about it, then what we are not, it would be easy for us to. So Vṛtrāsura is very clear about as to what he is, correct? And that's why he is able to let go of the temptations offered by even Krishna. Take this position, take that position, take this, go there, whole earth, whole planet, the kingdom of heaven. Everywhere. He said, no, 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 no. Oh Lord, all these places, they deprive me to attain you. I want to become the servant of your lotus feet. So in the same way, if one is very much clear, very much fascinated by one's identity in Mahaprabhu's Siksha, ultimately, if one is able to develop this fascination and the pride that yes, I can become Radharani's a choicest kinkari of Radharani, you know. Becoming, who becomes? You become what you are conscious as, na? So you have to become conscious as a choicest kinkari of Srimati Radharani. You know, somehow or other, all our discussions, Bhagavad, they will culminate with this understanding. Any passage of Srimad Bhagavatam, we should be able to connect to the real message as to realizing who am I. Self-realization is the perfection of God realization. Did you ever hear this? So we have to attain perfection. And God realization without finding oneself, how can one realize Krishna? Even if Krishna may manifest personally, seeing Krishna or it's not God realization. Realization of God is completed when one is situated in self-realization. You know, finding oneself, one can attain everything. One can attain the whole world at his command and everything. One can find everything without finding oneself. He will be lost somewhere, no? Unlimited place. But if one has found oneself, he cannot be lost. So Vṛtrāsura is not lost. He cannot be lost. Rather, he is letting go of all these things. Nanaka prishtham na che parameshtham na sarvabhaumam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhira punarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. It is guarantee any sadhaka who recites these 6 shlokas of Vṛtrāsura and contemplate about them. In this very lifetime, one will attain the perfection of his human potential. One will attain what one is contemplating is, you know. We become what we become what we are conscious is. So you have to be conscious is the choicest maid servant of Srimati Radharani. That is our untapped potential. And we should not settle for any other realm. Even Hari is Purna or Purnatar, Purnatam, Gokul, Vrindavan. And they are also attaining the shelter of Srimati Radharani. So Vṛtrāsura's prayers, they are so amazing. Now the third sloka, which is the Rahasya, the most wonderful sloka will be the next session. Of course, they all are so wonderful, but they are leading one after another. It's a complete package. This Vṛtrāsura's prayers in four prayers, 4 slokas, they are a complete demonstration of attaining the perfection of Bhagavad Dharma. How we can, how the Bhagavad Dharma, or the ultimate duty of humankind, or mankind, or for every living entity, how this we can attain the perfection in performing this duty of Param Dharma. And that's why one of the features of Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the symptoms of Bhagavatam is that which describes the glories of Vṛtrāsura, who apparently appeared as demon, but who was endowed with the purest sentiments of pure devotional service. All right, I should stop here. Anybody wants to add something, say something, ask something, please come forward.
Pranam Shri Guru. Hare Krishna. Beautiful satsang. Like you are all of our special mercy. Like, because of your mercy only, we are finding the beauty in paradoxes. In in material world, people get stuck when they hear paradoxes. but from your vision, we are finding beauty in paradoxes, and these and these paradoxes are intensifying that prayer. Very beautiful, Maharaj. Like जितना कहे उतना कम, Maharaj. बहुत सुंदर.
All right then.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna.
It's so fascinating, Shri Guru. So wonderful how you connect every shlok, every satsang, every thought to how we can realize ourselves as sevikas, as manjaris of Srimati Radharani. It's so fascinating to think about, and as Nikhil said, you are the special mercy to us, Shri Guru. I would be truly lost. We would be truly lost without your mercy, and with your mercy, I'm confident by your mercy, by your blessings, I can realize who I am. Barambar pranam Shri Guru. Hare Krishna.
Asking question is no less appreciated also. Because the transcendence expressed in this prayers is unlimited. I feel so incapacitated, utterly incapacitated to say enough. We cannot say enough. Just few thoughts creeping in. The essence, the concentrated essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we must be able to relate with the prayers. His readiness to let go of everything. So the sadhaka should, will I be ready to let go? Welcome, Natali.
Pranam Shri Guru. Yes, so I have a question as always.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your class. It was very nice as always. So I was wondering, hearing a prayer about someone rejecting other planets and other realms and being the king of the world, I think for me it's just very hard to imagine that someone would want this kind of responsibility, because I feel like, oh, that is like so much. But then again, there's so many other things that I get involved in. And, so it's like the small things, like how can I reject the small things that could distract me? Because I feel like what is mentioned in the prayer is just way too big for me to imagine and to grasp my head around it. So but how to like maybe put it on a smaller level so I could more level with it. Hare Krishna.
Best question so far. Because practically it relates. That's why in the explanation I said that how it connects to us in our perspective. We can read lofty stories and all these things, just information, how it draws us, how it causes our participation in our consciousness. So that's very, very wonderful thing to address. We don't have to go that far. What Vṛtrāsura has gone. So this great stalwart personalities who attend the platform of pure devotional service, they are sharing their experiences and begging us, telling us, we have to connect to the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Because lots of wonderful, lofty stories and episodes and everything which we cannot relate at our level, they won't be very much helpful. Rather, knowing many stories and so much knowledge and information could create such identifying that I know so much, correct? I know this and I know that, but I don't know myself. We have to just zoom in to find a focus about our identity individually. If that is not established, so much information, so much study of Srimad Bhagavatam and everything, it takes us only that far, means not far enough. You really have to find that fascination into the real fortune exposed to you by Mahaprabhu. And that exposure has come through Mahaprabhu's parampara. Those who have imbibed and appreciated the beauty of Mahaprabhu's gift, it's for all of us. As much fascination I feel for my fortune, I can feel the joy for anybody who identifies oneself as also, So when I speak to anyone, I think of that fortune in that person. So it's like we are all most fortunate. Did I not give you the example of, once I visited some acquaintance, some family acquaintance when we were traveling in Bangalore. I may have used this example. So we visited that house. The person was very opulent, and the villa, one community, the name of that community was Aram Patiyoga Villa means the villa of the billionaires. We entered that villa. Everybody was a billionaire there. From material point of view, means if everybody is billionaire, do they envy one another? If a billionaire in that community, if he has an expensive car, does another billionaire envy that car? He can also purchase. He can also have it. My whole purpose is that we have thousands of avenues to get lost and find tempted towards so much. This material world is designed to test us out. If there was no test, we would not relish or appreciate the beauty of the reward. Suppose students, there is no test, there is no examination. Do you think they will have any focus on the study? Would they take any seriously? In the same way, attaining the supreme, or rather the provision so that we in human form of life can attain the supreme is the arrangement of the Lord. We are the focus. The whole creation, why the Lord appears in this world, all the scriptures, all the disciplines, all the education, everything. Only in human society. Because human being can be modified. So if you think of the temptations level, like your question is relating to Vṛtrāsura, where is our position? Our position is very, very fragile. We can be tempted by very little, very insignificant thing comparatively, Only thing that will rescue us is to find oneself. Believe me, Natali. You owe this to yourself. Not to remain lost any longer. Our focus in spiritual cultivation, our focus in spiritual journey has to be very motivated. Our determination comes with that motivation. Our determination to stay away from getting tempted. Yes, I am what we are up to compared to what we should be up to. So this tussle will be there. What will bring the determination and the vigor? Only if you contemplate more and more and more. The divine contemplation. So I wrote something. Even if you are not able to, or anybody is not able to go to sleep or wants to go to sleep, what one thinks of oneself. I am my Swamini's, a choicest kinkery. Correct. Close the eyes and think of yourself as such. Then cultivating such thought and studying the literature which emphasize that identity by Rupa Goswami, by Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. We haven't tapped the human potential we are given. So your question, because comes only when one has not found oneself. If you have found yourself, no temptation can trap you. Correct? We don't have to go that far. If Vṛtrāsura can sacrifice that much, but our achievement by Mahaprabhu's Kripa is much, much greater. That's why I use this Harihi Purnatamha Purnatarha Purnaiti Tridha. Our destination is Vrindavan, In Vrindavan, in Nikunjil Mandir, Radharani's lotus feet. And by becoming confidential of Srimati Radharani, we attain the fullest mercy which Mahaprabhu has come to give us. We are very fragile, correct? Your question was basically this. We are all very fragile. We should not think that we are very strong. So our strength comes by making sure that we don't get lost again, even for a moment. That much strength we should sustain. Na? If I don't forget as to who am I, then everything should be all right. Because most of the temptations we don't go their way. So one final thought came to my mind. If somebody asks us to sacrifice something or give something, if we have a lot, it may be very difficult to give, but if we have not a lot, it's easier to give everything. And that's why by connecting to Mahaprabhu's mercy with little sacrifice, with very little effort, we can get the highest benefit. Believe me, the present opportunity given to us is the best since eternity and for eternity. You have to contemplate about this thought. Why? Because in the present time, in the present opportunity, we are able to discuss and appreciate, contemplate about the real thing. One may have been born in a royal family or whatever kind of opulences or any situation, and stay lost, correct? Because the life terminates. It begins with birth coming out of the womb of the mother and just takes his course and just vanishes at death. Before death, if one is not able to find out as to who the person really is, he remains lost. He comes in this world as lost, adopts misidentification again, and dies as lost, correct? In the present lifetime, as we are discussing right at this moment, we have the opportunity to become free from remaining lost. Contemplate about it. And the present situation, body-wise, mind-wise, or status-wise, whatever we have, we can handle it, no? We can handle our situations better than anyone else's. Do you think if somebody is born as, some kind, any person is the most richest person or the most famous person or the queen or the princess, anything, are they not lost? From their situation to become found is more difficult than yours or mine. Our situation is not as lost as theirs, believe me. That's why Jesus says in Bible, from wealth point of view, it's what is they saying? It's easier to thread a camel through the hole of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God, na? Because the rich person has a lot to sacrifice and very difficult if one has lot. Our situation is the best. Any situation in which the satsang is appreciated, this thought is appreciated, that I can become a choicest maid servant of Srimati Radharani. Which other lifetime we can have such appreciation of this aspiration? So we don't have to go that very far. What kind of things we have to let go? In order to let go, we have to first get it, no? So why to be trapped? We should not aspire to become such a big king or being a big position or big minister or big, because then it may be more difficult. Ours is the best situation. We are in the best position because we don't have so much at stake, no? I can think of myself as very ordinary, and Mahaprabhu has come to make us all realize our extraordinariness. So we are extraordinary, but somehow or other we have been, the way we have been acting, the way we have been thinking, the way we have been reacting and speaking, one can think of oneself as very ordinary. In order to move towards becoming extraordinary. Why one has to become extraordinary? Because one is extraordinary. But in identity crisis, in our thoughts, in our actions, we are pretty ordinary. One should think of oneself like that. But we have the potential. We have the potential to become the object of or center of Krishna's attraction. So that potential we must focus. And the time during which we discuss this accomplishment, this possibility, our position is better than anyone else's. So we should not be tempted even to aspire to attain anyone else's position or status, anything. We must perceive that whatever situation Krishna has put me in, is the best, is the best for me, best for you. So find the focus, and then those things won't be any thing. Vṛtrāsura is speaking from his point of view, his status, correct? And so naturally one has to speak from his situations. You can also speak from your situation. Correct? That will be beautiful, na? Ultimately, if you found yourself as, quote unquote, everything else becomes irrelevant, na? Your question was about the relevance. So relevance is that if you find yourself, then you have made it. But if you haven't found yourself, even after finding everything else, the whole universe, the whole kingdom and everything, you've only lost everything. Finding oneself is the real thing. So go for the real thing. Everything else is a decoration. If we find ourselves, we are decorated enough. We don't need any external decoration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram.
Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, that time I couldn't speak, but it's really a great fortune to hear you. And yes, you gave the beautiful identity, the real identity. Who am I? For so many yugas, I don't know how much. For so many births, I'm just living within a false identification. A daughter, sometime a daughter, a wife, a mother in the material world, but the real identity you has given me that a choicest Angana of our Swamini. And whenever I am thinking about this, it fills my heart with so much pride. जैसे कि आप हमेशा कहते हो, मिथ्या अभिमान, अगर अभिमान भी करना है, तो सिर्फ यही कि स्वामिनी की किंकरी हूँ मैं. Because no yogyata, I have no yogyata to be called like this, but that's because you have given this identity. So I want to take this pride that yes, I am a kinkari of our Swamini. And as I also want to say one thing. No obstacle, no temptation, no fear can come in our way if we have a complete faith in our Shri Guru. Nothing comes because that faith gives so much courage. It fills your heart. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि अंधेरे में भी रोशनी दिखाई देने लगती है. जब ये एहसास होता है कि वो हमारे साथ है, then no fear can come and कुछ भी हमें रोक नहीं सकते. The episode of Vṛtrāsura is really beautiful, but it becomes more beautiful whenever I hear from your lotus mouth. Even I always, that is when in the morning Bhagavatam class, I also heard this from your lotus mouth, but I just want to hear again and again this episode because lots of feelings you added in each subject. The real sweetness of Shastra, the real beauty of Shastra, I find whenever I hear from you. And if I will tell uncountable times that it's a great fortune for me, then also not sufficient that you as a Shri Guru comes in my life. Thank you, word is never sufficient. But thank you so much for all the things, for the mercy, because the Mahaprabhu's mercy is showering through you. I have not seen Mahaprabhu. Everything is Paraksha for me, but at Pratyaksha, I can see only you. And I can feel your mercy. And because of your mercy only, that I am hearing you even at this time also. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shri Guru, for everything, for giving me the real identity. Pranam. Hare Krishna.
All right, then unless someone has something to say or ask, we can find out. All right. बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
We will say 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra for our Shri Guru, for his honor. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे हरे.
Bhakti Swarup Govind Maharaj Ji ki jai.
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 समावेत निताय गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि.
Hare. Pranam Shri Guru, Dandvat Pranam.
हरे कृष्णा श्री स्वामी अस्तु. गौर प्रेमानंदे.